It starts with week one. Kansas City is in our way for what exactly we want to do, and it'll be a clash, and hey, may the best man win, but I like us.
Lamar Jackson, Roquan Smith, and some very popular sports analysts have some very strong words and opinions ahead of this Kansas City matchup where the Ravens are heading into Kansas City 9 months after having their hearts ripped out of their chest, as Lamar Jackson and his #1 seeded Ravens last year were just a few plays away from his first Super Bowl appearance. And the Baltimore Ravens are getting slept on as only 2 out of 10 NFL Network analysts pick Baltimore to win in Kansas City in the season opener. However, the Ravens are 7-1 in their last 8 primetime games, where they typically play the best when the lights are the brightest. The Ravens are also pulling out the all-white jerseys. We got the top sound bites from different networks, keys to victory, important matchups, a comprehensive preview, injury updates, and more. So welcome into our Baltimore Ravens versus Kansas City Chiefs preview. We got so much to talk about. Let's dive into it. First off, I want to show you guys a real quick couple of passionate sound bites talking about this Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes rivalry, where Patrick Mahomes has had the better of Lamar Jackson in recent years.
We can't forget what sports is all about. Your regular season, we get you. Your athleticism, we get it. Your abilities, we get it. But that also provokes us to ask, how come you can't get it done when you're going up against this brother? You do it against everybody else. Now, if you don't go up, if you don't take out Patrick Mahomes like you Josh Allen, and you lose 40-36 or something like that, we ain't looking at you. You did your thing. But when you scoring 10 after you running all over everybody all season long, now I got to look at you. And then they go out and they get Derrick Henry. And that's going to prevent them from clouding the box like you said. Okay? Oh, that can unleash you even more. He has even less of an excuse now than he ever has before. It ain't about AFC title game appearances. It ain't about playoff appearances anymore with Lamar Jackson. It ain't even about the Super Bowl. It's about one dude that repeatedly stands in your way. His name is Patrick Mahomes.
While beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL season opener would provide some level of satisfaction after losing in the AFC Championship and having your Super Bowl dreams that you've had since a kid absolutely crushed and ripped away from you in your home stadium as the #1 seed and the best team in the NFL during the regular season, you know, there's also an element to this where only like the real satisfaction is going to come from a playoff game and a playoff victory where the Ravens are able to knock the Chiefs off from their ultimate goal of being a three-peat Super Bowl champion.
And the reason why people are so sour, and it's not because the Ravens were a good team. I thought the Ravens were the best team in the NFL last year. It was because the Kansas City Chiefs were not the team that we thought had grown accustomed to. It's because of the struggles that we saw them have as to why we went up on the Baltimore Ravens. Patrick Mahomes in this era is costing a lot of really good players opportunities to win Super Bowls who normally would in this era. Now, that doesn't mean they can't overcome it. But the bottom line is, man, you have to go through 15. And we found out last year, it don't matter if it's in Kansas City or if it's on the road. You got to go through him to win a Super Bowl.
However, you do want to start the season off right, and you've had 9 months for these Ravens players to sit around and think about how their season was cut short of their ultimate goal. Here's Roquan Smith and Lamar Jackson talking about this upcoming matchup.
I'm ready to go. I've been going against my guys for weeks. You know, it's time to go against someone else.
Hey, honestly, man, what way to have a bigger show than when the whole entire world is watching you, regardless of what happened last year. Hey, that's last year. This is a completely new season, and like, hey, the whole world's gonna be watching, people from all over. So I'm very excited about our defense and our offense, special teams as well, to put a show on in front of the entire world and do it and look good. With week one, Kansas City is in our way for what exactly we want to do, and I'm sure from their eyes, we're in their way. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be a clash, and hey, may the best man win, but I like us.
Let's talk about some of the keys to victory. We're going to start off with the Baltimore Ravens' key to victory on the defensive side of the football. And Roquan Smith says it best. Take a listen.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, just eliminating the run, making the guys one-dimensional just like any other game. And once you make a team one-dimensional and knowing exactly what they'll do and given situation, it gives us a chance as a defense to really pin our ears back and do exactly what we would like to do.
The Ravens want to stop the run. They want to slow down Isaiah Pacheco so that way the Chiefs are forced to be a one-dimensional offense. That'll play into the strength of the Baltimore Ravens defense, which is their secondary and their pass rush. Last year, the Ravens led the NFL in sacks. They did lose Jadeveon Clowney in free agency. They still got some talented pass rushers like Justin Madubuike and Odafe Owe, Kyle Van Noy, and some hungry dogs that are going to be trying to pin their ears back and rush, while the secondary, who's even more improved from last year, is going to be doing their job and holding it down on the back end with a healthy Marlon Humphrey and a first-round draft pick in Nate Wiggins, who has excelled in preseason and dominated throughout training camp. You also have Brandon Stevens, Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams, Darius Washington, and others back there that are going to be making plays in the secondary, trying to clamp down these receivers as the pass rush gets home. As Roquan Smith says, man, the Ravens want to make the Chiefs one-dimensional, shut down the run, and then get Kansas City in some uncomfortable second and third and long situations. On the flip side, the Chiefs are going to want to try to establish that run game and pick up those nice big chunks with Isaiah Pacheco, and also, set up that play action to try to get the ball downfield to their rookie wide receiver, who's the fastest wide receiver in NFL history, and Xavier Worthy, who broke the combine record. The more defenders the Ravens creep up into the box to slow down the run, the less guys are going to be back there in the back end to, keep a bracket on a speedster like Xavier Worthy, on a playmaker like Travis Kelce or Rashee Rice. Now let's flip to keys to victory for the Baltimore Ravens on offense. And it's pretty simple, man. Run the football, man. We had 6 running back attempts in the AFC Championship game. The Ravens panicked. They weren't used to being down. They got a little bit down. They threw the ball too much right into the strength of the Chiefs defense that was top 3 in EPA per play against the pass. The run defense was not quite so good. They were over 20th in the league in yards per carry allowed to the running back, and were even thin on the defensive line heading into that game, signing guys off the streets. Derrick Henry said in an interview yesterday that he wished he was part of that matchup. He was looking at that matchup knowing that he could have changed the outcome of the game, and now he has a chance to do so.
The environment is going to be loud. It's going to be hostile, but that's what you want. Especially on opening night. Everybody watching the first game of the year to kick off the 2024 season, so I'm excited. It's going to be fun, so I'm looking forward to it.
I want to see the Baltimore Ravens get physical in the run game, run the ball downhill, hit him in the mouth with Patrick Ricard and Derrick Henry. A man can only take so much of a 330-pound rocked-up fullback, Patrick Ricard, and then a 250-pound 6'2 beast and a rushing title, future Hall of Fame type of running back, and Derrick Henry running downhill. I say stay heavy in your personnel and then throw the ball out of those heavy packages and those 12 and 13 packages. Staying heavy in those packages, running with Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely, and Andrews on the field, possibly Patrick Ricard if you want to go into a 13 personnel. The Ravens are going to also be able to efficiently pass the ball and provide some nightmare matchups for the Chiefs, linebackers and safeties to try to cover the NFL's best tight end duo in Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. We're going to get into one of those matchups here with Mark Andrews versus Justin Reed. But first, let's talk about another key to victory besides staying heavy in the personnel, running the football, taking those play-action shots. It's going to be beating the blitz, okay? So Steve Spagnuolo, last season, the AFC Championship, in 6 of the 6-man pressures that he came after Lamar Jackson with, Lamar in this Ravens passing attack was only completed 1 of those 6 passing attempts. Now, Lamar Jackson did the right thing on some of these situations and put the ball in a spot where a receiver could make a play on it. But the Chiefs' corners were excellent in coverage. And even when Lamar Jackson got the ball out quick and put it in a playable spot for the receiver, the Chiefs made a play on the ball and was very tight and aggressive in coverage. So you're going to have some plans in place when it comes to beating the blitz. I say, why don't we have some quarterback draws thrown in there? Have Lamar Jackson rip off a 30-yard run or a big touchdown and see if they want to keep coming after him with 6-man pressures. Throw in some running back screens. Let's try some running back screens, some other hot routes, and it's also going to be on the Ravens receivers to get some separation and some tight man coverage with not a lot of time to separate. And that's where I think Rashad Bateman, whose strength is his route running and specifically getting off of man coverage quickly and creating separation at the line of scrimmage, man. Rashad Bateman should be heavily featured in this game alongside of these tight ends and Zay Flowers. So that brings me to one of my first key matchups, is testing the Chiefs' #2 cornerback spots and Joshua Williams, or if they get a nice nickel matchup with Chamari Connor. I'm curious to see, with L'Jarius Sneed being on the Tennessee Titans and not being on this Chiefs team anymore, will Trent McDuffie be following around Zay Flowers, who's the Ravens' #1 wide receiver, who gave the Chiefs some trouble last year in the AFC Championship? Despite that fumble that obviously had a big impact on the game, Zay Flowers went over 100 yards and a touchdown. If McDuffie decides to follow Zay Flowers, like I said, I'm testing that #2 corner with Rashad Bateman versus Joshua Williams, and I like that matchup. I also like the matchup with Mark Andrews versus a Justin Reed, or Mark Andrews if he gets a matchup in the slot against a Chamari Connor. And I also like it with Isaiah Likely, man. I think Isaiah Likely, not only can he threaten downfield with speed, not only can he make you miss after the catch, but he also has an incredible contested catch ability, very strong hands, maybe the best hands on the team. And while Mark Andrews is more of that, feel type of player where he can really sit it down in zones, he's physical at the catch point as well. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely going to be a nasty duo for the Chiefs to deal with. On the other side, another matchup that's going to be fun to watch is Kyle Hamilton versus Travis Kelce. Kyle Hamilton, maybe the best safety in football, All-Pro last season, against Travis Kelce, the best tight end in football. In the AFC Championship, Kyle Hamilton had perfect tight coverage where Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce just made an absurd play where he caught a touchdown on Kyle Hamilton. It's not like he got cooked. He just didn't get his head around and be able to make a play on the football. It was just put in a perfect spot, and it was a great catch, great play. You got to tip your cap to two of the best in the game, and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. But I still like that matchup, and I think Kyle Hamilton is going to be fired up and ready to go for this game. Another big matchup that's exciting is Odafe Owe versus the rookie left tackle in Kingsley Suamataia. Here's a reminder of what Andy Reid had to say about his rookie left tackle.
He had a good training camp. He had good preseason, but it's going to be a learning experience for him here. This is a good defensive line. And I'm sure there'll be some ups and downs as he goes, like any young player has, but he's prepared himself, and it's time to go play now.
We also got some injury updates. It looks like the Chiefs and the Ravens are relatively healthy. The only absent player from practice today for the Ravens was third-round rookie outside linebacker Adisa Isaac, who will probably be ruled out for this game. And then on the side of the Kansas City Chiefs, Justin Reed is back healthy, but Marquise Brown has been ruled out and will not play in this matchup. So the top two receivers for the Kansas City Chiefs will be the rookie Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. This is a very highly anticipated matchup. Not only is it a rematch of the AFC Championship from last season, but it's the first NFL football that, millions of fans all over the world have been waiting for. The whole world's going to be watching. I like the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. I think the addition of Derrick Henry, some of the simple mistakes that the Ravens made last season against the Chiefs, and the extra motivation of having their heart stripped out of their chest last season puts the Ravens over the edge to get a nice Week 1 victory. So I'm going Baltimore Ravens 27, Kansas City Chiefs 24. Let me know in the comments section below your score prediction and why you feel that way. As always, if you got any value out of today's content, make sure to hit the like button. It does really help out the channel, and I'd appreciate it, man. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you got that subscribe and notification bell on so that way you're notified anytime we got any more previews, news drops, anything Baltimore Ravens, man. We got you covered. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.